Hey everybody, this is iLad and we're back for another episode of Red Panda Skylines. And today, I have a question for y'all. Is it possible, do you think, to have too much farm industry in one city? Well, the purpose of today's video is we're going to try to find out. No, scratch that. This is iLad from the future coming back to say that's not the question we're really going to be investigating today. What we're really going to be looking at, the actual thing that I'm curious about now that I've recorded the last 2.5 hours of footage, is how much more profitable would these farms be if they were small lots instead of the really big farms? We're going to check that out at the end of the video, but for now, let's go ahead and watch the build. So, here's the deal. For a long time now, I've had Lilac farms producing a fair amount of profit. In fact, I imagine this is probably one of the main income sources for the entire city. We could actually find that out, can't we? Let's go into finances, and we got our income tab right here. And yeah, that is certainly the main earner. That and residential taxes. I want to start building out this industry. You can see on my RCI indicator down here that I've got a tremendous amount of unemployment in the cities. And I think I can solve that while also increasing our base income. We have a large amount of farm space out through here. And let's say that the owners of this farm corporation have decided that they would like to drastically expand. I mean, after all, they've got this nice new cargo terminal complex over here. Let's do something with that, right? So the first thing, of course, and the easiest thing is always going to be to take advantage of existing developed farmland. Oh, that is an interesting looking building, isn't it? Looks more like a power plant than a than a whatever that is. So Westfarm, sad to say, the family farms just got bought out. At least most of them did. And they've got their eyes on this little chunk of property right here too, but with a bus terminal in the middle of it, yeah, I don't know. I've got some ideas for what I would like to do with that, and I'm not ready to commit to any of them yet. So we're just going to leave that as is. And get in some large grain silos. Alright, so as you can see, there's a very clear congestion spot right here. So we're actually going to just flip these over to the other side of the road. Sometimes this is all you need to make a big difference. Actually, I'm going to move one farther away from the intersection as well. Alright, so off camera, I've been working a lot on trying to improve traffic flow. You can see that I'm not doing a very good job. We're at 82%, which is a little higher than it had been. But that's really not the focus of today's episode, so I'm just going to keep on trucking. As it were. Got lots and lots and lots of arable land over on the other side of the track, so I'm going to need to do something about that. and get over there and start farming it. Alright, so as I start laying out farm zone this side of the track, I think what I'm actually going to do is try to obey normal road hierarchy principles to avoid that mess, hopefully. So we'll kind of see how that works out. So basically I've got this collector running along here. Would I be able to upgrade that at any point if I chose to? Nah, I didn't think so. I probably won't choose to. If I do, I'll just rebuild the whole dang thing, I guess. But, so I've got this collector, and I'm going to... Actually, let me back this off just a bit farther. I'm going to have limited access to it. Yeah, it's a little better. And then I'm going to have the local road types going on sort of parallel to it. So we'll see how this works. All right, here we go. Here's a lot more cropland. I am well aware that I'm overdoing it on cropland. I like it. I like how it randomizes too. Like I didn't feel the need to go back in and really change much. I don't really want this many greenhouses. I feel like it is a little excessive. I'm just going to go in and set a bunch of these to other things. Let's see, I did say I was going to have more access, or I implied that I was going to have more access than just every now and then to that paved collector. And oh my, look at production now. But let's see. I think I can fit some animal pastures in out here. This is not ideal because it's going to clog up the cargo area traffic some, but hopefully I'll also be able to get rid of a lot of it a lot faster because the cargo area is right here. You know what I mean, the freight cargo terminal. And like I've been saying, if I have larger facilities... Ooh, I can even go bigger than that. Let's see. Turns crops into animal products. Slaughterhouse. Oh yeah. Hopefully we'll start seeing some of the slaughterhouses take crops off their hands. All right, so the slaughterhouses are mostly chugging along. Looks like I've gotten rid of the not enough raw materials. Notifications, we're going to extend this out this way, bump out our industry area some more, and we're going to put in some dairies. 463 tons of crops going out. 69 tons of animal products and flour. Oh yeah, we're going to need some flour mills too. Alright, and I'm finally going to do what several of y'all probably were already thinking a long time ago that I needed to do. And that is work this great big mess into something resembling a roundabout. Well, to be honest, I never thought I'd get it to work, but here we are. There's a 3-lane roundabout. Alright, yeah, it's okay. It's alright. Oh, and I just realized something I did wrong here. Let's see. How do I deal with this? I gotta have some way... I don't know, I think this is probably just gonna have to be ugly right here. Yeah, I gotta have some way to access that station instead of just being outbound, because obviously that's not gonna happen. I'm probably gonna try to finagle some kind of roundabout in here. I'm probably gonna hate every step of the process. I don't think it's actually possible. Like just one right here. Well, that came out much better looking than I really expected it to. So that's kind of awesome. And traffic flow isn't bad either, it looks like. Alright, pretty sweet, man. Yeah, every now and then these people who like to talk big about how roundabouts are so awesome actually know what they're talking about. Roundabouts are awesome. I'm just messing with you. I left all these gaps in between the fields for a reason. Somebody in, I believe it was City Planner Plays Discord. No, it wasn't. It was somebody on one of CPP's videos in a comment posted a tip that I thought was pretty awesome. And that was, if you want trees like hedgerows or whatever, shut up, in between fields. Obviously, if I just start planting a lot of trees, it's actually going to convert the arable land into forest land, which is no good at all. They said spread tree-lined paths in between. I was like, say what now? It's brilliant is what that is. Just looking for one that I could kind of live with here. I think I'm going to use Zoo Path for this. Let me see how that looks in practice. Okay, and then I take my tree tool and I replace it with the trees of my choice. Let's see, let's start out with something like horse chestnuts. Yeah, it's not bad. That's not a bad thought. I like the zoo path. Yeah, this is happening. Alright, so as you can see, I've got I ended up with a whole lot of very large farming fields. And as you may have seen earlier in the episode, depending on how I decided to edit, I did this partly to reduce the amount of traffic, because when you have the little tiny fields like most of these are, you end up with lots and lots and lots of vehicles ferrying goods back and forth, whereas these tend to be a little more efficient as far as number of vehicles, vehicles stopping to turn into individual lots, all that sort of thing. Like if I go back over here, sorry if I'm giving you motion sickness. Now let me just speed it up and we'll get a demonstration of what I'm talking about. Every time a vehicle needs to turn into one of these fields, it's going to be slowing down or stopping the traffic behind it. But actually, you know, looking at this, that is not a major cause of traffic slowdown. It can cause some, I've seen it, but it's certainly not the worst. Now, multiple small fields do put more trucks on the road than a few large fields, so that's a concern as well. I have to admit, I'm a little dissatisfied with the level of profit that we're getting off all this farmland. I feel like I ought to be getting a lot more money on a regular basis than I really am. So let's try replacing these large fields with small fields and see what happens then. All right, so once again, I have seen variation in our bottom line here, anywhere from like a couple thousand into the negative up to maybe 23,000. That seems pretty consistent. If I go into the actual finances, pretty typically I see about 30,000 to 35,000 difference between income from industry areas and expenses on industry areas. Now, what I'm hoping to do is actually cut down the expenses rather than increase income. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to knock out all these big fields, and I'm going to replace them with an equivalent land area in the small fields. And we're going to see what that does for us, where that gets us. And it's going to be a bit tedious, and that's okay. Okay, here we are. I replaced most of the large fields with 4 small fields, which is the same number of tiles, or the same amount of ground space, basically. I did not bother getting over into this area and doing that, but if there's a difference that's going to happen, this is going to be enough to do it. So I'm going to let it run for a while, then we're going to see where our profit ends up. And we're also going to be looking at traffic just to make sure that didn't completely go off the rails. All right, and here's where I assume we're going to kind of level out. We are sitting about 30,000 to 35,000 over. where we were before. So I'm not actually sure it makes that much of a difference. I was quite correct about the effect that it would have on traffic. Like, it's not ridiculously worse. It's not like it's 4 times the traffic or anything, but it's significantly worse. So, yeah, for a variety of reasons, it's actually better to go with the large fields when you have very large amounts of agriculture going on. And I'm really surprised by that. That's, in my case, it's no sweat. I'm just going to restore the save that I made before I did all of these changes. And it's going to be good. Speaking of the save that I am reverting back to, it already had this roundabout in here. I don't believe y'all saw that in what I'd recorded previous. But this has definitely improved a lot of traffic flow. I don't even know if y'all had seen that I have 2 new cargo terminals. But, you know, that took some of the edge off my traffic. And I guess as long as I'm showing stuff I did off camera in between the original farm expansion and my little experiment there, I also added Alder Street, which is this nice little community. Yeah, and I added Rosewood, which is a street where a community where I really did a lot of flowering trees along the streets. It's also got my first dense residential other than the student housing. So, yeah, that's done a lot to boost my population. Though you can't really tell it from the fact that I'm having it's probably a death wave, honestly. It's not a huge one, though. We'll be all right. Anyway, like I say, I think we've learned a lot. I will be adding more farms, you know, despite everything. Maybe in smaller chunks. I know that I need, or not need, but I'm going to put in more farmland right about here. And then as we expand out to more map tiles, I'll be filling in the farm-rich areas as appropriate. So you can look forward to more agricultural fun in the future. Probably not as the focus of another episode for a while. A good long while. But, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate, as always, y'all taking the time to check me out. And I really hope... I'm so reverting that save. I really hope you've enjoyed it and that you'll truck on down to that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'd love to see you back for the next one. Thank you guys. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.